To illustrate the type of question they could ask on this whole economic order quantity, let's do question 1 together. Now normally when you start a question, my advice is to read the required. Often in the exams and the assignments and the tests, they've got this 3-page set of information and at the end the required. So it's always a good idea to get an idea of what do they want you to do so that when you read the question you pull out the necessary information. The required in this case says advise management or advise the management of the company whether they should accept the special offer from the supplier or obviously not. Determine the reorder point for these laptop computers and list any 3 implications if a quantity discount is accepted. So this is fairly vague, but sometimes it's a little bit more specific, but at least then you've got a starting point, so to speak. So once you know, right, we want to know, do we take this option or not? That means when we read through the case study or the scenario, we need to have a look at which costs will be relevant. We need to pick out the things that are going to be different from doing things the way we've always done or doing things in the new way by taking up on the special offer. But we can do nothing until we've read further. So let's read the question. Computex is a supplier of computer equipment. Its premises are situated nearby the local university and one of its products, a laptop computer, I don't know what other laptops you get, but anyway, is selling at $4,900 and is very popular among the BCom students. The company sells, so that's important to note the selling price if we need it. The company sells on average approximately 20 computers a week, so not per year. The sales take place evenly throughout the year and the year consists of 50 weeks. So your annual usage would be 20 per week, not for 52 weeks, but for only 50 weeks, which is 1,000. 20 times 50, make sure you use a calculator, don't just guess. Alright, then they purchase the laptop computers at a cost of 3,430 Rand each, and the cost to place one order is 300 Rand, and the orders are executed within 5 weeks, so that is your lead time. So when you're reading a question, you are seeing what they could ask you. Cost to place an order, the purchase price of the computer. You got the idea. The safety stock would be the sales requirement for 3 weeks. Well, if we use 20 laptops per week times 20, then that would be 3 times 20 is 60 would be the safety stock. The direct holding costs are 35 Rand per unit and insurance amounts to 10% of the unit cost per year. So 10% of the unit cost is 3,430 plus, so that gives you the insurance costs, which is 3,343 Rand plus the holding costs of 35. 343 plus 35 gives you 378 Rand, which is your holding costs. We still don't have an interest rate. Do not confuse the 10% insurance with interest. Insurance is 10%. The supplier has offered, so the guy selling to us, a quantity discount of 5% if he orders 150 units instead of whatever we just say is the economic order quantity. Can you see? The company implemented the economic order quantity model to manage its inventory. So this guy's saying, no, don't do what you think, do what I say. Take 150 units at a time and I'll give you 5% off. The current after-tax cost of capital is 11% per annum. So that is your I. The current tax rate, which they don't always have to give you, if they don't give it to you, you ignore it. The current tax rate is 29%. So the after-tax cost is 11% times 1 minus t, which is 11% times 1 minus 0,29. So 11 times 0.71 gives you 7,81%. Okay, after tax. Okay, after tax required says, advise management whether they should accept the special offer or not. Also determine the reorder point and then list 3 implications, which is theory, which I'm not going to worry about the theory, but we're definitely going to do A and B. So what we're going to do is look at the different costs that they've given us and see on which ones will we save costs and on which costs will be higher. So for example, they're giving us a discount, so obviously the purchase price will be less. The insurance is based on the purchase price, so the insurance will be less. The holding costs will be the same. The cost to place an order, the cost per order is the same. However, if we are ordering more units, which I'm suspecting we're going to be doing, we will then place less orders, so we might save money on order costs, but the holding costs means if we're going to order more stock, we'll have to hold more stock and it'll cost us more money. So we need to compare these costs to each other and find out if the savings exceed the extra costs. Alright, so let's have a look at annual demand. We already calculated that. We said annual demand was 20 computers for 50 weeks of the year, so that would be 1,000 computers. Safety stock is 3 weeks worth of usage, and we use 20 computers per week, and that gives you 60 computers. The discounted unit price, the 3430 times 1 minus 0.05, which is 5%, 3430 times 95% essentially, gives you a new price of 3258.50 cents. Okay, let's compare our current management system with that special offer. The purchase price under the current regime or setup would be, we want to know what is the yearly cost, 1,000 computers per year. I'm going to pay currently 3430, which gives you a purchase price. I'm going to have to spend 3.430 million. But if I take the new price, do you agree that I will be spending 3258.50 cents times 1,000 says under the special offer I will be spending 3258,500. Good. That's the purchase price. That's the first difference. So can you see the incremental cost or the incremental saving would be the difference, which obviously is just the one minus the other, and you would then need to look at inflow, outflow. These are all outflows. It's going to cost me to place an order. So this was the purchase price. The order cost. So now we need to go and calculate a few things. So let's go and see what is my economic order quantity. My economic order quantity says I'm going to be ordering twice my annual usage. It's going to cost me, they said it costs 300 Rand per order. So it's going to cost me 300 Rand per order. My holding costs are going to be 343 plus 35. So I have already done my calculations, but anyway, 343 plus 35 plus my purchase price is 3430, and I'm going to have to look at the after-tax interest rate. And the after-tax interest rate is 7.81%. So times 0.781%. 3430 times 0.0781 plus 345 plus 35. That gives you the bottom of the line. We're going to do this in steps here. 2 times 1,000 is 2,000. Let me just get the bottom of the line written down. 647.883. Those are my holding costs. And 2 times 1,000 times 300 gives you 600,000. Divide by 647.883. And then find the square root of that answer, and it gives you 30.43, and we need to round up 1 units at a time. Okay, now I need to just prove this to you. If I ordered 30 units, if I rounded off, let me just quickly do the next calculation before I carry on there. The number of orders says I need 1,000 units a year, and I need to place 31 orders. 1,000 divided by 31 gives you 32.26, and again I need to round up to 33 orders. Okay, so if I place 33 orders and if I round it off to 32 orders, and 32 times 30, can you see I'm going to have 960 units. I need 1,000 in a year. Okay, so I need to round up. 31 times 33. And yes, I'll have a few more, but at least I won't be short. Okay, so always round up. Okay, round everything up. Can't tell you enough. That's really ugly, so let me write that again. Alright, so what are my order costs? I am going to place 33 orders with this method, and it's going to cost me 300 Rand per order. Gives you 9,900. So that means we need to go and work out how many orders would we need to place if we order what they have suggested, the 150 units at a time. 1,000 divided by 150, same logic. We would have to round up. So again, well, yeah, rounding off is also rounding up. So 7 orders will be placed, and it'll cost us the same 300 Rand per order because it's delivery costs. So yes, it's going to be more. So 7 times 300 gives you 2,100 that it's going to cost me every time I order. In order costs at least. I'll need to order less times a year, sorry, so it'll be less expensive. Now the carrying costs. The carrying costs are, I'm going to order an average inventory of 31 units over 2, so that's whatever that is, 31 being my economic order quantity of 31 units, plus I'm going to have my safety stock of 60 units, which we calculated at the top, and those number of units will be at the cost of placing, of holding the inventory, which is the 647,883. So the holding costs will be 48915. But if I order not economic order quantity, 150 units, I'll have an average of half of that on hand. I still want my safety stock, and it's still going to cost, or it's going to cost me, I need to go and work that out. The stock holding costs, they said it is 35 Rand per unit. The insurance was a percentage, remember 10% of the unit price. Now remember, we are paying less for this thing, 3,258 and 50 cents, and insurance is 10% of that. Then we are going to lose interest after tax. What was that after tax interest rate? 7.81% of that purchase price, because we are tying money up. So you could say here 11%. Hang on. Let me keep it in decimals. Times 1 minus 0.29. That you remember it's the after tax interest rate. You're going to lose that money. Okay, let's do this in a few steps here. So the insurance would now be 325 Rand 85. The 3,258.50 times 0.11 times 0.71 gives you interest opportunity cost of 254.49, and altogether those holding costs would be 35 Rand plus 325.85 plus 254.49 gives you 615 and 34 cents. Okay, so we multiply with the 615 and 34, give or take cents, and we multiply that with 75 plus 60 is 135, and we will get our holding costs of 83,070.9. So let's just round off, and then we add up all our costs, and we see, right, under the current quantity that we are ordering, it costs me in total the relevant costs. Can you see these are the relevant costs? The things that will change and be different from one decision to another. If I order my quantity, I'll pay 3.48 million. if I order their quantity, although some things will be more expensive, some things will be less, the carrying costs are more, but everything else is less. Can you see the incremental or the difference is 145,144 Rand less? So yes, they should accept the new offer because it results in a lower cost. I hope that makes sense to you. So the first question says, advise management, should they take the offer from this supplier? And the answer in short would be yes. The next question says, determine the reorder point. Now the reorder point says, what am I going to use under normal demand? We are using 20 units a week, and they said to us in the question that the lead time is that's safety stock, sorry. The lead time, the delivery is usually within 5 weeks, so that means I need 5 weeks of stock minimum. Plus, once I've got that, I need my 60 units of safety stock. So 100 plus 60 gives you 160 units. When my barrel, if you like, gets down to, there's my 100% mark, there's my 50% mark. When it gets to, let's rather not do that. When I have however many units, when it gets to 160, then I must reorder so that I can keep using, and delivery will happen when I have my 60 units in stock. That's very out of, what do you call it? There we go. Then the delivery will happen there. You got the idea? So then that would be my safety stock. Alright, and then C is theory. There your answer is. You can please have a look at that yourself. Alright, so once we've got our final answer, just to make sure that you understand what we looked at, we saw that the purchase price, we paid less. That was a savings. The order costs were less. That means we saved money, but the holding costs were more, which means we had to spend more money. And now what we had to spend more was far exceeded by the savings that we made. And that's basically your concept. So always try and think about what you're doing in a question. That you want to advise manager, must accept the special offer, which means you need to look at the costs and say, is it going to be cheaper? Am I going to save money? How much am I going to save? How much cheaper will it be? Some things will go up, some things will go down, but at the end of the day, the net effect, is this going to save us money or not? Okay, so always think about what you're doing, because the more you can do from logic, the less you have to study. And that's, as I say, the beauty of management accounting. There are a number of extra questions here. Question 2, question 3. The solutions are there. Please, it's very similar questions. Normally they won't bring tax into it. Quite often they won't bring interest, but at third year level they probably will. So just to give you an idea of the types of questions that they could ask, but sometimes they'll throw it in with another question. But there are 2 extra questions that you can please try on your own and mark it. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll help you where I can. That is Learning Unit 1 with a little bit of Learning Unit 18 in between.